Today, we get to chat with Justin Brandl. Justin, when he got out of prison, he knew he needed all sorts of support. So he connected with the GOGI family on our social media and he just says, how do I be of service? How do I be of service? How do I be of service? Well, at that time, GOGI was relatively small. We are, well, small in that we had 23,000 students in California. Small relative to the 2 point something million population that we are aiming to serve now with our free materials. In any case, Justin walked to the GOGI mailroom. He took a bus to the GOGI mailroom. He rode a bike to the GOGI mailroom before he could actually afford a car to come to the GOGI mailroom. He volunteered while we had that physical mailroom. He volunteered, and I am so excited for him to share his journey on getting out and what was that like, and how did having the GOGI Life Tools help him. I think you'll enjoy meeting him. Good morning, Justin. I am so happy you're here. And I'm so happy we get to record this because it's going to go up on our YouTube channel called the GOGI Life Tools. And it's going to go on tablets that are in, I guess, more than 500 different prisons and jails. And so the topic is kind of a how-to. And this topic I'd love to discuss with you is kind of, how do you do long distance relationships? How do you do that? How do you keep from getting jealous or worried or lonely or angry or frustrated? What all of those emotions that get added. Relationships are difficult enough as they are. But then when you add distance or the inability to see somebody, I think it really does exacerbate the problems or the challenges. It creates opportunities, but it also requires a lot more of somebody than somebody who lives down the street or just a few steps away. Would you agree with me, or am I thinking that it's more difficult than it is?
No, it's definitely difficult. They're difficult when they're not long distance relationships. And I don't think you necessarily can do it without all those things, the jealousy, the hurt, the sadness, things like that. We just have to learn how to cope with them. And especially I like the jealousy uh, because that was something I didn't know I was going to experience in mine. And we have to have trust. You can't be jealous and really be trusting at the same time.
So let me understand this. Do you feel for you that the jealousy was an opportunity to lean into trust, to trust more, so when you had a feeling of jealousy, you kind of just thought, wow, I need to trust. Did it spark developing more trust?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I just had to use the word positive thoughts, and then the actions, because I told myself when I seen a picture of my significant other at a visit, and I can't even visit her right now with another man, I got jealous. All these
Ah,
thoughts are, who is this? Who is he to you? What are his intentions? All these, and this brought up control issues and the opposite of trust. And although I may have been jealous, I may have had all these thoughts, I decided to trust through my positive actions and not interrogate her. Don't ask her.
interesting.
And I know she had a life before me, and there's going to be people in it. And if I want to have a good relationship, I need to have a good relationship with the people she has relationships with.
Interesting. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Tell me, when was it that we met in person when you weren't wearing prison blues? And what was the function that Gogi played in your life for that time that you were able to do some volunteering? So give me your Gogi history.
Oh, my Gogi history. I started doing Gogi with Coach Sheb Isbell at Tehachapi. I had the books for years before. I just didn't know what they were. And I was like, one day I'll get to them. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but he told me about volunteering. And so when I got out, I had wrote Gogi a letter saying I wanted to volunteer 10 hours of my time. And I seen it on the website. And I was like, oh, that's me. And I'm out and I'm ready. And within the hour, Gogi mom called me.
Uh-huh.
Coach Johnny called me, and then I was in the mailroom not much longer after that,
Hmm.
where I was being able to encourage others, support others in their journeys. And
So how did you get to the mailroom every time that you came to volunteer? How did you get there?
Oh, I started out on a bike and a scooter and public
Yes.
transportation. It was a
Yes.
long ways too.
Yeah,
And
yes, it was. It was.
eventually I got a vehicle and everything. I picked up other volunteers to bring them too.
Hmm.
And Gogi's just been the great experience. The Gogi tools have given me the life that I have today. Otherwise, I would have thrown it away. Again,
What do you mean you would have thrown it away? What you would have thrown what away? Your freedom? What
I
would you have thrown away?
yeah, I could have without having the tools, the coping skills that I have, my 5 second light switch. It was only one situation I had in my reentry housing, and I was furious. And
Really?
actually, because I was doing Gogi with my significant other,
Hmm.
she happened to call in the middle of it, and she's like, "Get out of there!
Oh,
Get
wow.
out of there!"
Wow. Okay, so
And
you went into a re-entry home and you were bumping up against someone. There was something that wasn't right. And that was a critical moment when you used your tools to be able to walk away. And she reminded you of your Gogi tools. Is that how it played out?
yeah, and I like when one of the coaches talks about letting go, hand squash toss. Yeah, but then we have a tendency to go back and pick it up
Yes,
later.
yes,
We
that's
got to
true.
actually let it go and leave it there.
Yeah.
So when our phone call ended, I ended up back in the house, and then she calls back. She's like, "Where are you? Get out of there!" Uh,
Uh-huh.
but I had to. I had to listen to somebody else. I had to be a good boss of my brain. I had to use my 5 second light switch. Get out of there. I went to work out. That was my new activity. I had an old thought, which was hurting somebody. And instead of acting on that impulsively with my old habits and all caught up in my anger and my emotions, I went with the smart part of my brain. I used my tools. I went to my light switch, and that's another coach Sheb talks about building your switch. Know what your actions are going to be. Otherwise, you may not find it as easy to do them. And so I had my plan. I knew what my action is. I need to go let this frustration out. So I went to the gym, came back feeling better.
So tell me, Papa Coach, that we call him Papa Coach, Chef Isbell, there was in fact, please reach out to him and let him know that I'd love to have him on the show. I would love to have him kind of talk about his own Gogi journey because most of his journey was on the inside when there was very little hope that his life would change. And now social media, he's blowing it up with all sorts of pictures, of his freedom. So please reach out to him for me.
Absolutely.
What part did he play? Because at the time that you became aware of Gogi, there was not really a clear light at the end of his prison tunnel.
Mhm.
How did he inspire you? Here's a guy may or may not be going home, probably not, and he's telling you you need some tools. How did that land with you? Like, dude, I'm going home. You're not going anywhere. What are you telling me about some tools? What was the conversation like? And when you met this coach, what were your thoughts? And I know you set aside the books for a while, but you landed and you picked him right up. So something he said must have sparked an interest in you or in some way inspired you.
Well, I worked as a porter and so he walked by one day and I'd always have my self-help stuff out there on the tables, ready to share with anybody who wants anything. And my Gogi book was out there. And he said, "Oh, what do you know about Gogi?" And I'm
Mm.
like, "Not too much, really." "Why do you?" He goes, "I'm a coach." I said,
Wow.
"What? We got to get meetings. We got to have power up meetings." And we
Wow.
started them, the two of us, on the yard. And next thing you know, we had two tables and it was getting bigger. There's 10 people showing up to do Gogi on Tuesday nights in there. And that's when I started learning the tools. Tell me about these things. Help me out, guide me, walk me through it. And I
Great.
was like him at the time. I already knew I was going to get out. I just didn't know when. And I knew I needed a lot of work before I still got out. But I knew I
Right. I
was
see. I see.
eventually.
I love that. And it goes to the testament of where two people are meeting, you have a Gogi meeting, and you guys were not getting credit. You weren't getting time off. You weren't getting anything for these meetings. You were just learning simple tools. Is that right?
Yeah, but I was getting a lot. I'm investing in my future. I'm
Oh,
investing to ensure this is an insurance policy on my future that I can reach my goals and I'm going to get there because the tools are going to allow me not to get distracted with my old habits and emotions.
I love that. So you began to seek out positive friends, you began to associate positively with them, you're learning the tools. Now you get out. How long had you been away? And how long had it been since you had a significant relationship with someone that you said, "Oh my God, my heart beats so fast when I hear her voice"? How long was that stretch between I have this woman I really care about now and what you had in the past?
26 years.
26 years. So you were 26 years inexperienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's
And
almost
so
like brand new. That's almost like first date stuff.
it is. It was weird. And then and so I did a lot of reflection on my past, how I had my past relationships. The domestic harmony book helped me out a lot. Even though I had never had any domestic charges or allegations or anything like that, when I started reading the book, I see I have these characteristics to one degree or another.
So
These are
you're
ways I
talking
can improve it.
about you're talking about the domestic harmony course that GOGI that people can buy online, the domestic harmony course. Is that the what
Yes.
you're talking about that? So you didn't have in your C file, in your corrections file, in your jacket, you didn't have domestic violence or harm to domestic harm. You didn't have that, but you did the course anyway, and you benefited.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen so many aspects of like control that I didn't realize. I've only been in two relationships. My first marriage lasted 9 years, and she didn't sign up to spend life in prison. And so she moved on, and that hurt, and there was a little loss there. But I moved on too. And now doing that book, I learned so much. I controlled money. I tried to control her friends. I I used mean words. I verbally abused her, emotionally abused her. Uh, all this stuff the book pointed out where I was coming up short. I may not have been doing it hugely bad, but I was falling short. And that book highlighted where I needed to fix. And that's what I 180. Let's do it this way. Let's trust. Let's be kind. Let's
Oh my
value
gosh,
our partner.
that is tough. And people that are watching this and they're sitting in an 8 foot cell on a 2 inch mattress is going to say, "Yeah, but you didn't have the phone call I just had with my wife or my husband or my loved one. You didn't just hear what I just heard." And so how do you handle this long distance relationship? What is a maybe a practical example of when do you have to rush to your tools and utilize your tools to kind of tone down the emotions and really be totally present and in control of yourself so that you could be a better you in a relationship? How does that happen?
Over time and practice and
Practice.
with a clear intention of knowing I don't have to act on my feelings. I can let those things go and act on my goals, my
How do
intentions.
the tools help you? I don't have to act on my feelings. I struggle with this all the time. I have a current issue in my life where I feel that maybe I was taken an extreme advantage of, and it gnaws at me. Well, I could file a lawsuit. I could go do this. I could do this. I could do that. And then I think, okay, is that really where I want my energy to go? How does somebody, when something's gnawing in their mind, a significant event, and it's gnawing, what do they do? How do you get that thought out of your mind and find peace? What are the steps you personally use to kind of de escalate the situation when you're working on a relationship issue that you have no control over?
Mm. Yeah, that's a good one. And it goes back to those positive thoughts. What am I going to waste or not waste? What am I going to devote my energy thinking about? Am I going to think about the hurt or whatever, or solutions to try to do it? And then that's in the what if. What if I let it go? What if I seek solutions? What if I trust? It's going to be hard. And I get it. And I say, especially when it comes to the phone, to my men and women who are in there, they control the phone. I cannot call her. They control, and silence can be violence. Hanging up on somebody. You don't want to do that. That sends the wrong message. And then you don't call. They're worried, wondering what's going on. And so I always like to say that good communication that you have to be able to let things go and just focus on the future. It's going to have hard times, but that gives you opportunities to build the trust and strengthen the relationship when you're able to use those positive words and actually talk about it.
So she has been in prison quite a while as well as the time you did.
Yeah, she's been in about 17 years.
17 years. So you have two individuals who have been away from personal contact for quite some time, and you're navigating this relationship, which is a deep love and a deep appreciation for each other. Does it matter that she is incarcerated? Does it make it more difficult, less difficult? And you might be in the position of a lot of people of having a love for somebody who's incarcerated. How do they manage control, not control, hanging up the phone, silence is violence? How does a person on the outside cope with someone who's on the inside who there's lots of variables there? There's lockdowns, there's no programming, there's no medical care, there's drama in the dorm or whatever it is. How can a person on the outside, a formerly incarcerated GOGI student or not, manage a relationship with somebody who's still on the inside? And that may mean friends. We have one coach who was released who's relapsed and having a difficult time. He is really good friends with another coach on the inside, and they're having a struggle. It's difficult because one released coach who has his freedom is struggling with addiction. An incarcerated coach is saying, dude, what are you doing? You have your freedom. You are just turning the keys. And so there's this. Talk to me about that inside outside component in relationships, and how do the GOGI Life Tools help?
Well, I think I'm perfect for that because I've been on both sides.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
kind of I know both sides intimately, and I have a much broader respect for my ex-wife's position, what she went through, because now I'm sitting through it, and it's hard to be away from the ones we care about, and there's always forces trying to divide us and things going on in my head. I don't always have the best thoughts. So one particular day we had a disagreement or something we didn't agree upon. And we got off the phone, and I'm expecting a call later. She always says good night, and I don't get one. And I thought she was mad. And then the next day, I don't get a call. And then finally, the next day, I get a call, and I act like nothing happened. Hey,
Mm.
how was your day? Oh, it was fine. And then what'd you do? Haven't you missed me? And I was like, yeah, but right now I'm being stubborn, and I'm mad because I think, but it was technology. But my mind goes to the worst case scenario, and she reassured me I would never do that. I hate being hung up on. I would never do that. And so that started the conversation using those words, positive words.
Yeah,
Uh,
but Justin, how can the story we create feel so real? How can it feel so real when you ended that phone call and she didn't call, she didn't call, she didn't call? The story that we create feels so real. It's like we become committed to that. Oh, for sure. Oh, and then the emotions start wrapping around that story. When we start creating a story because we want to make some justification, we want to figure things out, we want a reason for something to happen. How can the individual on the other line of that phone or waiting for that letter or waiting for that visit, how can they spend their time, their mental or emotional time, thinking of something either more neutral or actually something pretty positive? How do you do that? It sounds so easy. Oh, you just pretended like nothing was happening but what when that's going on in your mind, you might lash out to people around you. You might have another nasty phone call with somebody just saying, "Oh, everybody's going to treat me this way." It might create in you a lot of reactions to other things that have nothing to do with this issue. How do you do it? How do you do it?
I got to look at the facts. It's been 3 years, over 3 years I've been with her, and she
Okay.
hasn't been doing that,
Okay.
and then she told me she never would. So moving forward, that's not going to be, if it is my first thought, I'm going to change it. No, that's not her. This is me and my defects, and I'm seeing it through my filters, my old past, and just trusting that everything is fine. Trust. Everything is fine. It's technology. She trusts me. She wants to call as bad as I want to hear her voice. She's
Mm-hmm.
going through it too. And she's stressed out wondering what I'm thinking. Am
Right.
I thinking she's mad? And we're both basically doing the same thing. And then when we can just talk about it openly and honestly, and then get to the bottom of it and realize we got character defects. We're working on them. And a big thing is I love doing the Gogi work with her because we
Ah,
both have the same set of tools. And if we
okay.
use them, there's no reason why we can't succeed.
Yeah, so for anybody that has a loved one on the outside, they can go to our website, or they could just Google "Getting Out by Going In" or "GOGI Life Tools." We have hundreds of thousands of views on our YouTube channel of all our videos. So a loved one, the conversation could be, what Gogi video did you watch? Oh, I watched Sheb Isbell. Oh, I watched Justin on relationships. And having that conversation, right? The incarcerated individual could invite their loved one to just check out the Facebook page or whatever. Is that what you would do?
Oh, absolutely. I encourage. So that's the thing with these long distance relationships, we got to think out the box a little bit. They're not your conventional relationship. So it's definitely doing Gogi together, talking about it, share the tools, share what happened in your day, share how you used it. Especially if you're a lifer, this is a rehearsal for your board hearing. You're going to be
Oh,
able to explain these things because you're applying them to real life situations. So it's going to benefit the whole relationship in the long run because you're trying to get out and be together. I say, any read books together on relationships. My significant and we do movie night. We'll watch the
really?
same movie together at the same time at the 1 hour mark. She'll call and then we talk about it. We discuss it. And we got to send letters, unexpected letters. We got the tablets now. There's not a lot of mail going on. It puts a smile on their face when they get a letter, when a
Ah,
letter shows up. And that goes both ways. I get
mm-hmm.
a smile on my face when I get a letter. I love getting pictures,
Yes,
then I
yeah.
can brag about her.
Yeah, you got some pictures behind you up on the wall
I
behind you
do.
that I
One of
see.
those, yeah, graduation. She has several degrees.
Yes.
She's about to become a coach.
Yes.
And so
Actually,
I'm
I
very
think she
excited.
already is. I think that went out. So I think, yeah, I'll have to
Oh,
double check on that. I'll double check that the certificate went out. But her thesis project, all coaches have to do a thesis, was on relationships and Gogi. So she is actually walking her talk. She is actually boots to the ground. She's saying, okay, I'm a coach and I'm utilizing it in the relationship. I bet that makes it easier to overcome the relationship challenges that are inevitable.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Having the same skill set of tools,
yeah,
having the same goals and
yeah,
everything, it does. And we both believe like we're gonna have a great relationship when we can get there. Right now we're building it, strengthening it. We have
right.
opportunities to show trust. Sometimes I go places and I meet people and she might get a little jealous too. She says she does. And
Sure.
I just tell it, I'm faithful. I've been here this long. I chose to be here and I'm choosing to stay. And I know the trust is probably harder for you than for me, uh, but I'm here and I'm living by these tools. You're the one, and I love, yeah, doing these things together, thinking outside the box.
That I'm so proud of you for that. I want our viewers to actually know what you do for a living, what you do in your spare time. You have a very strong Christian community. You go and feed the hungry, or there's laundry night or something like that. Can you tell me, what do you do for a living, and then how do you strengthen, like some people, they just love baseball games and they'll follow a team and that becomes their thing. Some people, they may own a Jeep and they become to a Jeep club and things. You go to the gym. We know that. What else do you do besides go to the gym and pump iron to get those strong muscles?
I work as a drug and alcohol counselor, also an addict in recovery.
Hmm.
And so I love my job. I love working with the people. I always say we because we are one and the same. If they're hurting, I'm hurting to some degree. My
Uh,
day could be better, if their day improved too. I
mhm.
believe in the community. And so with that, I have my amends that I've let go of as a burden. Now it's got back to the passion part,
Yes.
helping with the church, doing food distributions.
Yeah.
I always remember Coach Johnny saying when you talk to him, if you want to be free, be of service to others.
Yes.
And that is my lifestyle too, serving others, just helping others. And then it makes my problems seem less. They
Hmm.
go away. I have something to keep me distracted with purpose and meaning,
Right.
brightening people's days. It's just a blessing to be out, to be able to have this opportunity. And what's funny is I just met a girl who did GOGI. She got out. She was an LWOP. And she
Uh-huh.
said she used her GOGI tools at the board hearing. I said, no, I know. They love them. They work.
They work. Yes, they absolutely do. I am so grateful that you would spend time with us, and we're going to get this up on YouTube as soon as possible, and then over onto the tablets as soon as possible, so people can hear that relationships in and of themselves are challenging. They require growth and maturity and listening. They require trust. They require a lot of things of us. Nothing is more difficult than those that are at a distance or where you can't control when you call or when you show up or who you visit. So I just really know that this kind of time together is going to help others get a different perspective on it.
No, I definitely hope so. I hope they find something helpful. Stay dedicated, use your tools, be involved with your partners. It's a collaboration. We're working together towards a common goal, a happy, healthy relationship.
I love it. Thank you so much, Justin. Any last thing, if you were sitting in a cell with a man or a woman and it's on lockdown and they're watching this on a tablet, what would you want them to really, really know?
Themselves. I want them
Oh,
to know
beautiful.
themselves.
I want them to know themselves. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
get to know ourselves, strengthen our good qualities. It's back up on our challenges, and just get to know ourselves so we could share that authentic person with our partners.
Yeah, I love that. We get a lot of letters now from across the United States, and eventually it'll be from across the globe. And a lot of the letters that we're receiving say, wow, my name is Joe or my name is Jackie, and I want to be a face of GOGI. You truly are a face of GOGI. What does it mean to be a face of GOGI?
Yeah, it means to me you're a positive impact on the people around you. You bring joy and happiness to their lives. You're setting a good example. I'm proud of. I love Gogi. I'm sharing it wherever I can. It's helped me tremendously. It's helped many of my friends, and to me, it's just something to be proud of. It's community, it's purpose, and it improves my life. It means a lot.
Awesome. I love it. Now, one last favor for me. Would you say, and I'll say it, hi, my name is Coach Taylor, and I am a face of GOGI. Your turn.
But I use my name.
Yes.
Okay, so this is very exciting for me. So I'll say, hi, my name is Justin, Coach Justin, and I'm a face of Gogi.
I love that. I went
So
to on
do I get
closing.
a title?
Yes,
Do I get
exactly.
an honorary title? Because I'm going to change everything now, Coach.
I went to Guatemala and I went into a coffee factory, a coffee farm, and all of the people that worked the coffee farm and picked the leaves and planted the beans had children. So I went to a little school, which was a school for the children up in the Guatemalan mountains. It was extraordinary, and they let me play and talk to the children. So I said, my name is Coach Taylor. And they say, my name is Coach Taylor. So they just parroted. It was just absolutely beautiful. And I thought, wow, what if these children become coaches? What if they do? They just these sweet little individuals on the top of a mountain. coffee bean pickers and coffee planters, the children could become GOGI coaches and have, well, they too could be a face of GOGI. I appreciate you for being a face of GOGI and for sharing your time with us. I really, really appreciate it, Justin.
No, it's definitely my honor to be able to give back to something that's given me so much. That internal freedom, ultimate freedom.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. So we've earned our freedom today, I would say.
Amen.
Thank
Free.
you,
I am
Justin.
free.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach. Love you, Coach.
I
Bogey
love
for
you
life.
too. Always, always, I love you. Bye, dear.
GOGI, GOGI, Gogi told me this, I got the tools to live by. GOGI, GOGI, Gogi told me this, I got the tools to live by.
All the GOGI Life Tools books are available on Amazon.
Gogi told me this, I got the tools